Before cars became rolling computers, before every dashboard turned into a giant screen, before fake engine sounds came through the speakers, there was the 2000s. And looking back, it might have been the greatest era in automotive history. Not because cars were perfect, not because they were the fastest, but because they had something modern cars struggle to recreate: personality. The 2000s gave us cars that enthusiasts still dream about today. The Nissan Skyline GTR, the Toyota Supra, the Mitsubishi Evolution, the Subaru WRX STI, the BMW E46 M3, the Porsche 911, the Mercedes C63 AMG. Cars that became legends. Cars that inspired posters on bedroom walls. Cars that made an entire generation fall in love with driving. And the crazy part? Many of these cars were never designed to become icons. They were simply built during a time when manufacturers were willing to take risks. Back then, every brand had its own identity. BMW focused on driving feel. Mercedes focused on engineering. Porsche focused on precision. And Japan was creating performance cars that could compete with the best in the world. Every manufacturer was fighting to prove something. The result was a golden age of competition. And when manufacturers compete, enthusiasts win. The early 2000s also gave us something that feels almost impossible today: affordable performance. You didn't need a supercar to have fun. A Subaru WRX could put a smile on your face. A Honda Civic Type R could dominate a mountain road. A BMW E46 M3 could feel more exciting than cars costing twice as much. These weren't just machines. They were experiences. Then there was the tuning culture. The 2000s weren't just about buying cars. They were about building them. People modified everything: exhausts, suspension, wheels, turbo kits. Every car became a personal project. Every car told a story. And then came one of the biggest reasons the 2000s became unforgettable: the rise of car culture itself. This was the era of magazines, forums, street meets, midnight cruises. And for many enthusiasts, it was the first time they felt part of something bigger. Car culture wasn't just a hobby, it was a lifestyle. Then came movies like Fast and Furious. Whether you loved them or hated them, they changed everything. Suddenly, Japanese performance cars became global icons. The Toyota Supra became legendary. The Skyline GTR became every teenager's dream. An entire generation became obsessed with cars. And that passion spread around the world. At the same time, television was creating legends of its own. Top Gear was at its peak. Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, James May. Millions of people tuned in every week. Not because they cared about horsepower figures, but because cars were entertaining. Cars had character. Cars had stories. The 2000s felt special because everything was happening at once. Japanese performance cars were thriving. German manufacturers were producing masterpieces. Manual transmissions were everywhere. Naturally aspirated engines ruled the roads. And driving still felt mechanical, connected, real. Then the world began to change. Emissions regulations became stricter. Technology advanced rapidly. Manufacturers focused more on efficiency. Cars became heavier, quieter, and more digital. Modern cars are objectively better in many ways. They're faster, safer, more comfortable, and more advanced. But many enthusiasts would argue that something was lost along the way. The rawness, the individuality, the excitement. Because the truth is that the greatest automotive eras are never fully appreciated while they're happening. People only realize what they had after it's gone. And maybe that's why the 2000s continue to hold such a special place in the hearts of enthusiasts. It wasn't just the cars, it was the culture, the freedom, the community, the feeling that every new model could become the next legend. The 2000s gave us some of the most memorable cars ever built. But more importantly, it gave us memories. And that's why, for many enthusiasts around the world, the 2000s were peak car culture.